welcome to the Fiber Tales podcast. My name is Lærke, and this is a podcast all about knitting, about my work as a knitwear designer, and about anything else that happens in my life that I think might be interesting for you guys to hear about. I am coming to you from the southern part of Denmark on an island called Fyn, where I live with my partner and our 2 children. And today is a beautiful, sunny, but a little bit warm day, and I'm surprised because I sat down to record. I've been recording this intro maybe 50 times. It has been a while since I podcasted last, and I feel a little rusty. But I was just getting so warm, and I have now opened all the doors and windows around me, and I feel a little bit better, and I think I can manage. But yeah, I have been away for a while. If you're new to this podcast, you wouldn't know that. But I think last time I recorded was at the beginning of the summer, maybe. And it's just been because I always, when summer rolls around, I spend more time outdoors. I love taking my family to the beach. We live close to the sea, so we go every day if we can. And it's just something, I don't know what happens, but I lose my knitting mojo when it gets warmer. I spend a lot of time going for walks in the evening, and in the winter I spend a lot of time knitting in the evening. I just absolutely love the bright evenings we have here in summer. Around June and July, it's very bright outside until 10 o'clock. Now the days are a lot shorter, and I'm already missing those long summer nights, but we've been having the most glorious late summer, early autumn weather. Actually went swimming yesterday, which I think it was warm enough, the air was warm enough that you could definitely feel that the sea is colder now. So it was very refreshing and I didn't stay in very long. But generally, at least last year, I've been going swimming around once a week, just to get that very fresh feeling of when the blood starts rushing around after you go into the cold water. And I've been doing it with some friends, and it's just been so lovely. So, and yeah, this summer, I don't know, we've just been with the kids a lot, with friends. We've been enjoying the long, endless summer days. And in the beginning of summer, weather was not very nice, but then it has been beautiful lately, and I just feel so blessed since we moved here. I've gotten a lot of new friends, and it just, I feel so much more social now, which of course affects a little bit my knitting time. I can be social and knit, but when I have the kids with me and we're with people and so on, I don't always sit down and knit, and it also has affected a little bit of my time for podcasting and so on. But I feel very happy, so I think that's the most important. And I feel like this time with the kids, they're a little bit bigger. My girl is 9 now, and our boy and girl, the little one, he is 5, and they don't take naps anymore. They can go to bed a little later in summer, and we can stay out, and they're starting to have their friends, and it just feels so easy right now, and we've been enjoying it so much. And I keep thinking everything we do right now is their childhood memories, and I think it's so important. So anyways, you're probably here for the knitting, so I will stop talking about all these things, but I just wanted to tell a little bit about where I've been. Sorry, I looked down a little bit on my notes because, as I said, I'm a bit rusty and I don't want to start over again and again. So I'm going to try to stick to my notes a little bit. I haven't podcasted, but I will say, if you like to follow along on what I've been doing or what I do day to day, I try to share a lot on my Instagram stories. So go follow me there and you will see what I'm up to a little bit more. And yes, about the knitting, I have some beautiful cardigans to share with you that I finished. And I have some big news, or really exciting news for me at least. So, but I will wait with those news until the end. The news until the end. So the first thing I want to talk about is this big fluffy knitted cloud, which is a cardigan that you will have seen here on the podcast before. If you have watched any of my previous episodes, I'm just going to button it up so it's a little easier to hold up and show you. And up until recently, this cardigan didn't have a name, but now it has a name, so I can present to you the Nordlig Cardigan. I will put the name on the screen, and if you get a little confused about the pronunciation, just know that the D is silent and that the G is silent. So Danish loves to have silent letters, especially D's and H's and so on. They're not always silent, so just to confuse things even more. But this is the Nordlig cardigan, and the name means northern. And I thought it was very fitting because I've been using this all summer as a little jacket, and I will also use it during the fall and winter more as a cardigan. And it's just in these northern parts where I live, you really need a good chunky cardigan all year round. I think, was it finished last time I showed it? I don't remember, it's been so long, but it's finished now. I've added the buttons, and let me show you the back. And it is being released today, or it has been released, I don't know. Maybe I will try to time it to have this episode go live at the same time as the pattern. But yes, it has been in testing for a long time, and it was not the easiest pattern to get out here because I don't know if you can tell, it has some funny, interesting constructions where you go work in a lot of different directions, and in the front and the back. I can put it on for you so you can see it, and then I'm gonna take it off really quickly so I don't die of a heat stroke. It's really not that warm, I don't think. I think it's maybe like a 22 degrees or something, but it just feels much warmer than what I was expecting maybe for today. So if I get my hair out of the way, you can kind of see it has these very balloony, not balloony, but you know, a little bit more cozy sleeves. It has normal ribbing, and actually begin with the sleeves and knit this way. And then it has a lot of brioche, and then you knit the arm, the back, the front panels, the button band, and then there's some ribbing again. Everything is brioche except for the ribbing. And on the back, and I hope you can see, it's it has an interesting, it has some short rows and grafting. So there are a lot of elements, but it's actually very simple. It's just a lot of squares coming together, and I had so much fun coming up with this design. And then I don't remember when I first knit it, but it's been a while, and then I kind of forgot about it or thought maybe it was not so interesting. And then I wore it in a podcast last year, and I got so many comments on it, so I decided to try to get it released, and we are here now. So yeah, I am really happy with how fun this one is to knit, because it has so many parts. I actually divided it up into 10 sections. So you have the sleeve section, and then the different panels, and the panels on front where you pick up and knit straight down, and you have the short rows on the back, and the grafting, and then the button band, and yeah. So it just has a lot of fun step-by-step instruction kind of construction. And yeah, my testers have made some beautiful versions that I will share on Instagram, so please go and check them out there. You can also see different yarn being used. This yarn I used is my own yarn, which I have spun from my parents' Scotland sheep. And if you can see, I've been wearing this one actually quite a lot. It gets this very fuzzy, let me see if I can, gets this fuzzy halo from the Gotland sheep. And this yarn is a DK weight, so to get the same effect you could also use a fingering and a mohair held together, and you would have something similar, maybe not so warm as this one, and maybe a little more drapey if you use fingering and mohair. But you could definitely also just use a DK weight yarn for this. I don't know exactly when, but I have wool at the mill at this moment, and I really hope that they will have it ready for the fall. I took it to the mill during the early summer, so I think it should be ready sometime in the fall. And then normally what I do is I get the big sacks of wool or of yarn, and then I make 2 shop updates with the wool on my Etsy shop, simply for me to be able to ship all the orders. So I normally do it in 2 different shop updates, but I will let you know once I know anything about when I can release the yarn. But the pattern is out now, and if you buy it within the first 24 hours, I have a little discount that I will put here, and I will also put it down below in the show notes. Anything I mention that you don't understand because of my Danish accent, or anything that just is difficult to hear or know how to spell, is always in the show notes. And if I forget, just drop me a comment and I will add it in. But I try to put everything in the show notes. So I've been wearing this a lot. It's really easy to wear, and so I don't know, it's a little bit bulky to have under jackets, but I have some more loose jackets, so it works well for those. But also as a little jacket during summer and on more cooler days, it's just been really lovely. I'm so happy with the design. I'm so happy that I have this kind of communication back and forth with you who watch my podcast and buy my designs, that you let me know which designs make you really happy, and this way I know what to work on. And for this design where I lost steam a little bit, it was just so nice to get that push that you were really interested in the design, and then I managed to get it out. So yes, that was the Nordlig Cardigan, and I hope it does well. It has a lot of expectations on my shoulders now because I've been working on it for so long. I have something else, another cardigan that I finished recently. So I haven't seen this one in all its glory. Let me actually button it up as well, because it's just easier to hold up a cardigan when it's buttoned. And yeah, I've just been really happy knitting on cardigans and imagining cardigans. Cardigans for me is one of the most easy pieces of clothing to wear, like garments, because... Oh, what was that? Something flew into to my shoulder. Since I have all the windows open, there might be all kind of animals flying around. I was just saying, cardigans is definitely for me one of the most easy pieces of clothing to wear. I can close it up if I'm cold, have it open if I need a little more breeze. I easily feel warm and cold, so I feel like I need to adjust a lot. And then, of course, it's easy to take off. You don't have to pull it over your head and get all messy with the hair and stuff. I just find it's a very easy piece to wear. Anyways, enough talking. I want to show you this beautiful cardigan. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I haven't blocked it yet, I have to say. Maybe I should have done that before. But it has this cable design with little bubbles, and then it has these rows of, looks like pine trees to me, or little branches on each side, and then the rest is just a lot of moss stitch. I hope you can see the texture well enough. And yeah, I added in little buttons. This one has smaller buttons and just a deeper V. And also the fun thing about this one is that it has this construction on the back where you work the back first and then you pick up and work the front, and the shaping is in the back piece, so it kind of gives you this nice shaping of the shoulders. One thing I will say that was really hard to figure out, I think I reknit this part a million times, was this part where I knit the back panel first, and I had it figured out how long I wanted it, how I wanted the finish, like this one to finish. And I thought this looked nice, but when I tried to pick up for the other one, I tried so many things. because in my mind I just needed to kind of continue at the same with the same where I left the pattern off and go in the other direction, but that just looked weird. And then I tried beginning another cable like at a different point, and everything looked weird because it is going like this, so the two patterns are meeting like this. And maybe what could have looked, if I really should have redone the whole thing, I could have started at the crossing of the cables here and then again at the crossing of the cables here. But then I was more concerned about how it looked on the front, at the bottom of the hem. That's what I was thinking the most about. I don't know if you can see that there. So you always have to decide when you're designing if one part is more important than the other. I definitely knit this 3-4 times, and then I just decided this is looks nice for me. It might bother some people. If it bothers you, you could start it differently, but that would, I have made a chart for this, so that would you would need to do a little bit of rearranging of the chart. But I want to show you what it looks like on. It is definitely also very cozy and warm. This is also DK weight, and again, it hasn't been blocked, so the pattern or the cables is a little bit scrunched up, but I think it's fine just the same. I cannot move further back because I have my sofa here, maybe like this, and it just has this little button band, quite a deep V, which I really like. I think it looks nice. And then I made the sleeves to have this, it's actually a folded sleeve, and then I like it when it's folded up and it creates this kind of sleeve that's easy to pull up. I like to be able to pull up my sleeves and have them like this. I'm still a tiny bit unsure if I would have preferred the sleeves just a little bit looser, so I think I'm gonna block it, and if it's still, I'm losing so many hairs, I'm sorry about that. If I still think it's a little bit too tight, then I will change it. But what happened is I was working on getting the moss stitch to go into the 1x1 ribbing in a way that didn't create this. It looks really odd if you're doing moss stitch and then, which is knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, and then the next one. This type of moss stitch, it can be different things, but this type has 2 knit 1 and 2 purl 1s, and then 2 knit 1, 2 purl 1s, and then you shift every. So you do 2 rows where it's like a ribbing, and then you shift it. And it just looks really odd if you go into that column and start doing normal ribbing. Then it looks like some of them are longer, some of them are shorter. I don't know if that makes sense, but it was just something I like to pay attention to, these little details. It actually also happened on the bottom in one of the sections, and then I changed up a few things to avoid that. And that's also why the rate of decreasing is what it is, so maybe I will have to change it. There's so many little thoughts that go into a design and things you notice as you go, and I like to take my time with the designs, but sometimes I also have to get a move on and decide that this is enough, this is nice enough, I can start the testing. So for this one, I'm going to start the testing, I hope in a few weeks. I need to finish up the pattern completely. I have most of it written down, but just to make it into a comprehensible pattern. And then I need to send it to my tech editor, and then I can start the testing. Another thing I want to mention about this one is that I actually originally planned to have pockets on each side, but I just find it gets a little bulky with this type of yarn that is a little more, it's a very woolly yarn, and it stays a little, it's not stiff, but it's not super drapey, so I find maybe it's too much. Let me know what you think. Would you like the pockets? Should I try and to make them and include them, or would you be okay with it being without pockets? yeah. I can talk a little bit about the yarn as well, because it's a beautiful yarn that I have used a few times now, and I really enjoy working with it. It is the... I'm just thinking if you can hear the wind in the microphone. Oh God, I hope not. I hope not. I would be terrible, because then I wouldn't be able to use the footage if the sound is completely horrible. I will check it later and then see if I messed it all up. The yarn I used for this one is a yarn from a Spanish brand, and it's Spanish merino sheep, and it's called La Rinconada from Wooldreamers. And this one is in the color tierra, which means ground, or dirt, or land. And I think it's also called green tierra. I'm not quite so... In Spanish that would be verde. I'm not quite sure if that is... About the name, I'm a little confused, because it just says tierra on the website, but yeah. You will have to look it up. I think it's not... you can figure it out. It's the dark green one, and it's dyed on a brown wool, I think, and that's why it gets this beautiful depth in the color. It might be a little bit hard to show, but it's very beautiful green, dark green, earthy kind of color, and I absolutely love it. It's one of my favorite greens. So yeah, and I used this yarn before on my grow hat, and did I use it on anything else? Right now I cannot remember, but I really like this yarn, so I knew I wanted to work with it again. I think that's it for knitting. I currently don't have anything on my needles, which is a little bit strange. Okay, I just closed the door, so now it's getting warm in here, but it was getting a bit windy, and I don't know if the microphone picks it up. So about the knitting, I don't have anything new on my needles. I just casted this one off, and then I have been swatching, and those I cannot show you because they are new ideas and I have to see if they work out and everything. So yeah, that's it for the knitting. I hope I can figure out something new so I can make some more episodes. I always feel like I need to have something to show you when I make an episode. And yeah, I only have one more thing I want to share with you, and that is the bigger news, or the exciting news for me, and that is that I'm coming to a festival this year, and it is a new festival and a very special festival, because it is a festival that a fellow podcaster has created this year, and you maybe know what it is, but if you know the podcast It Is a Sarah, then you know what it's about. She has started a festival that's called Knit 2 Pearl 2, or K2P2, and it is in the Netherlands, and it is in November. And I am going, and I'm really excited. I'm going to be there as a part of their podcaster little group of podcasters. So I think I will be doing some talking as well, and then I will be enjoying the festival and saying hello to a lot of you, I hope. And yeah, going to the Netherlands for the first time for me, as not just passing by or passing through. And it's really nice because I have Dutch family, so for me it's something really special. And yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting a lot of knitters and seeing new yarn and being a little more social in the knitting world. I talked about that in an earlier episode, and I'm just so happy that it's finally gonna happen. I just checked the website before making this episode, and unfortunately there are no more tickets. It seems like they sold out all the tickets, and that is so great. It's a new festival, so I'm really happy for Sarah that they managed to get everything up and running, and that people seem to be really excited about it. So I cannot even tell you that there are tickets for sale, but if you already have a ticket, I look forward to seeing you, and I will try to record some and make an episode about the visit as well. It's in 2 months. Isn't it strange to think that November is in 2 months, because right now it seems like summer. I'm sure tomorrow, when I think it's going to be like 15 degrees and cold and rainy for the next week at least, so then I will get more in the fall spirit for sure. Yeah, I think I have said enough. I've been talking quite a lot. I am a little more excited than usual about getting everything to work. I have used the same setup as the last time because a lot of you said that you liked this setup. The sound was okay, the light was okay, the everything. So I really hope that I managed to recreate it because it's been some months and I didn't really remember exactly what I did. Yeah, I hope you receive my new pattern well, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye!